Let's see here. What time is it? It's time. All right. Welcome, Juggalos and Let's, Kings and Queens, friends and fiends. It is time for the Locked into Lunacy, episode 5. Lunacy 67 review time. All right. Start off the show from last week. Uh, from off the air last week, we had Vito yelling at Vince Russo saying that how he's always there for Russo, but Russo's never there for him, and how it's bullshit, and how Russo says it's Vito's fault for picking fights with everyone, and then he says next week we're gonna end all this with you, Flo Kane, and the Outbreak. And he schedules a match with Flo Kane and the Outbreak taking on the St. Clair Monster Corporation and Big Vito. Next we have Kerry Morton talking to Caleb Conley, and he says if you had anything to do with Matt Cross, then I'm gonna find out about it and I'm gonna kick your ass. Basically, Matt Conley denies it and says he can beat Morton by himself anyway. He doesn't need anybody. And I wanted to mention how Morton calls the cameraman an ugly fuck because that's hilarious to me. And he says he loses to nobody. And he's going to go look for Russo. And, yeah. Matt Cross will be back. Matt Cross, he will, anyway, he's going to look for Matt Cross. And then, we have Jeeves and the Ring Rat. They're going to have to be by themselves again for their match tonight because Caleb Conley has got to do other stuff. He's not going to be there with them. Then we have the opening match. It's going to be Nick Nemeth versus James Storm versus Mr. Anderson. The winner goes on later tonight in the main event to face off against Matt Cardona for the JCW World Championship. And we have Storm wins. You know, it makes sense. We have a face to face the heel. A Juggalo crowd favorite and everything. So it does make sense. Part of me wishes it was Nemeth, but you know, Nemeth hasn't been in JCW in a while. It's his first match back, so I guess it doesn't really make sense that it would be him. We get another great promo backstage with Big Vito and the Brothers of Funstruction as he basically starts putting it together that, hey, do I know these guys from back in the day? And the Brothers of Funstruction are basically like guys from the block that are in hiding as clowns. I think that's pretty funny and an interesting story. Let's shout out the House of Grimm podcast. Man, these guys are awesome. They go to lots of JCW events. They've interviewed a lot of JCW talent, including Mosh Pit Mike, Barnabas the Bizarre. They've interviewed Vince Russo. So yeah, man, if you guys haven't, definitely check out the House of Grimm podcast. More about them later on in this review. Then we have Big Al threatens Vince Russo with the pictures. And yeah, the pictures, the allegations that there's something inappropriate going on with Big Al and Vince Russo. And man, I hate the storyline. I you could go back and watch other episodes if you want to hear my thoughts on it. I cannot be more glad when the storyline goes away. Um, yeah, not a big fan of the storyline. Let me try to Vex. No. Yeah, I guess cancel. Welcome in. Talking some JCW Lunacy. Let's go green screen. I can't see what I'm reading. Oh, that's not gonna work right now. Okay. Anyway, we get the second of the best of 3 for the American Championship between Facade and Ninja Mac, and Facade wins this one, which leads me to think that Ninja Mac is probably going to retain his title. Otherwise, we'll have Facade winning twice, making Ninja Mac look weak on top of losing his title. So I don't think that's going to happen. So that's my prediction. Let me know if you guys have any predictions on who's going to win the best of 3 tournaments next week between best of 3 series between Facade and Ninja Mac. Then we got Big Vito. It says that if the monsters don't win, then Jasmine can basically move out and they're done. Yeah, it's very interesting. Jasmine is, as far as we knew, she was just kind of banging Vito backstage. We didn't know that they were actually living together and stuff like that. Next, I'd like to shout out Real Juggalo 123. He's pretty cool. JCW review, not review, but JCW history kind of channel. Definitely go check his stuff out. Check out his podcast that he does with Madman Pondo, Crazy Time, where you can hear crazy wrestling stories from Madman Pondo himself. Phenomenal. I've heard a couple episodes so far, and they're great. And we got Kerry Morton looking for Matt Cross, and this will happen a couple of times across the episode tonight. And we got Big Al says it's going to be a DLC match, doors, ladders, and chairs, with Haley J taking on Danny Moe, and Big Al's going to be the ref. And I don't know why JCW doesn't have tables. For some reason, they have doors instead of tables, so it's pretty funny. But we start out with Haley J and Danny Moe really going after each other, and then they're like, "Hey, why are we fighting? Why don't we go up against Big Al, you know?" And but then Big Al goes after them, and basically Big Al declares that she wins the match as the referee. Yo, brother, Headlock Entertainment, what's up, bro? Did you watch JCW? So anyway, then there's that one. And then we still have Kerry Morton looking for Matt Cross. And that's going to happen a couple more times throughout this show. And I can't wait, guys. It's finally here. As soon as I get some money, I'm kind of low on funds right now, but as soon as I get some money in my pocket, I'm definitely picking up ICP's Unaccepted the Wrestling. It's here, the big coffee table book with the entire history of ICP's wrestling career in WWE, in WCW, TNA, ROH, the creation of JCW. Just all of it's going to be in one big book. It's finally here. I was wondering if we were ever going to get it because when I first started doing JCW reviews, they were advertising it every week, and we were talking about when is it going to come out because they didn't have a release date. They just said coming soon. And then the last couple of JCW shows, they stopped advertising it altogether, and it's like, what the hell? And all I could find is people on Facebook asking if it was still coming out or anything like that. Um, but it's finally here, just out of nowhere. It's back and it's finally here. I appreciate those likes, guys. Thank you. Are we really all the way through here already? Did I miss anything? Man, I can't believe I went this far through it already. Finally here. Oh, no. Okay, it's not the part that I thought it was. Mr. 50s introduces himself to Vince Russo in kind of a funny promo backstage. Is this necessary? No, I think it was a little bit of a time filler, honestly. Then we got the St. Clair Monster Corp with Big Vito taking on the Brothers of Funstruction and the Outbreak. And pretty interesting here. We have Big Vito not being able really to work with the Monster Corp and costing them the match. And it looks like in the future we're going to have this rivalry between Big Vito and the St. Clair Monster Corps now. Heel versus heel kind of rivalry. Very interesting stuff. That leaves, I believe that leaves the Faces, the Outbreak, and Flo Kane, in my opinion, both in the title picture. Maybe this rivalry with the St. Clair Monster Corporation could lead to them facing off against the Brothers of Funstruction as well, because the Brothers of Funstruction are now so closely associated with Big Vito, I feel like. But let me know, what are your guys' predictions for these kind of storylines? It's kind of fun to speculate on. And we get a paid advertisement. Violent J says he's going to find his way back into JCW, and when he does, he's coming after Big Vito. Talking about time's ticking, the tick and the tock. Speaking of the tick and the tock, both myself, Pickle Rick, aka the Juggler, has a TikTok. Just got up to over 2,000 views and over 15K likes. I have a puppet over there, Juggalo Muppet. He's pretty damn popular. I just have some fun as a Juggalo TikToker over there on TikTok. Definitely check that out. But also, Violent J himself, yeah, the man of JCW, has his own TikTok as well. He's got about 4 videos up. They're getting crazy likes. So, definitely go peep. Go peep Juggalo Muppet on Pickle Rick, at Pickle Rick 89 on TikTok. Also, go peep Violent J's TikTok account. Also, his wife, which you probably already know, not his wife, but his girlfriend, Sarah Rusi, has a very popular TikTok account. I'm sure you've seen, if you don't TikTok, I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube and stuff like that. But we have Kerry Morton still looking for Matt Cross. And then I believe we have some kind of an advertisement or a break in between. But then we have Kerry finding Matt Cross, and they brawl in the parking lot. And Kerry's like, why are you doing this, you know? And Matt Cross is like, when it's time for you to know, you'll know. Kind of more intriguing about Matt Cross. I have no idea where they're going to go with him, and I think that's definitely part of the fun of what they're doing with Matt Cross. I definitely wish it would be more of an upfront heel. I've talked a bunch of times about my feelings on Matt Cross, but anyway. We have Jeeves taking on Mr. 50s, Mile Clark. And, of course, Mr. 50s wins the match using that full Nelson. There was a distraction. Tried an attempt at a distraction with the ring rat, but it ended up not working in the favor. Now, I know I missed something. I missed the freaking Mosh Pit Mike match. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Vampiro comes out and says that Mickey Knuckles is back and is going to face off against Mosh Pit Mike's gimmick this week is Cactus Mike. And, yeah, man, this is just a reminder of, like, how awesome Mickey Knuckles is. When you first hear that a woman's going to be wrestling a man, you're like, nah, man, that's not really cool. But then you see Mickey Knuckles and how freaking hardcore she is. She's awesome. She's definitely something you gotta see to believe. And I do love the crotch grab spots, both of them, in this match. It really makes you feel like you're watching good old fashioned trash TV. You know what I'm saying? And then we got that spot where the House of Grimm boys in the front row, rather, they give Mosh Pit Mike those Legos, and he does that spot where he slams her onto the Legos for the win. Then we got Pondo attacking him after the match, and then it looks like he's going to help out Mickey, but then he attacks her as well. And also we had Vampiro on commentary for that match. It's great stuff. Just great stuff by JCW all around. Then we have the Jeeves versus Mr. 50s, and Mr. 50s wins. And then we have Russo yelling at somebody we can assume to be Vito, but we don't see who he is, leading me to believe that it's probably not Vito. But we'll have to see, man. And then we get the blast from the past. We get Boogeyman versus Officer Colt. And Boogeyman wins the victory, man. Boogeyman keeps surprising me that he's still around this long in wrestling. I saw his debut either on Velocity or SmackDown like 20 years ago when I was first getting into wrestling. And I can't believe he's still out there doing his thing. He's been in Memphis wrestling. He's been in JCW. He's been all over doing his thing, man. All over the indies. Eating worms for real. This guy is freaking crazy. And we finally have the main event, which is Storm versus Cardona for the title. And we have Cardona coming out, cutting a pretty freaking awesome heel promo. And Cardona wins due to interference from Mr. Anderson. And man, this is like the fourth week in a row, something like that, where we have an interference in the main event, and I'm starting to get tired of it. We had interference by Vito so that Matt Cardona would win over Too Tough Tony and get the title. Then the next week we had interference from Matt Cross getting involved in the Kerry Morton well, that was the week before. Anyway, we had like 3-4 weeks of straight interference. And it's just getting... That's the one part of JCW Lunacy right now that's getting predictable. I would like to see a clean finish for the main event, please. I was watching a podcast. It was Mr. Anderson's podcast with Vince Russo on it, and he was basically talking about how he didn't like clean finishes for storylines. Um, I'm not sure if I completely understood him right, but he's not a fan. It seemed to me he wasn't a fan of clean finishes, and I am definitely look like yes, interference and dirty finishes are cool for storyline purposes, but there can definitely be clean finishes, and it's okay to make one guy look strong over another. Um, um, yeah, I think you can work clean finishes into a storyline. You don't have to always have some kind of an interference, especially if you're trying to make a champ look good. Like, let Matt Cardona win clean. You know, let him be an unstoppable bad guy for a while, and then have it be let James Storm lose, and then maybe he can come back and win the next time or something, and make it more of a surprise when he wins the next time or something. Um, that's just my 2 cents from a wrestling fan's perspective, not a writer's perspective, not a wrestler's perspective. Just my opinion as a fan. Then we close out the show with Vampiro. We know he's acting like he's not leading Pondo to run over Mickey with the car, but we know he's directing Pondo to run over Mickey with the car. Russo comes out. He's freaking out, and he's saying, "Fire his ass! Uh, call him off!" You know. And then JCW goes off the air with Vampiro doing that smirk. Um, yeah, man. JCW, Lunacy absolutely lives up to its name. Lunacy. Crazy. Awesome stuff. Um, not a lot of people in tonight, but that's okay. We can still watch it later on as a YouTube video. About 11 o'clock tomorrow, this will be up. Should be. Um, yeah, man, to the 2 likes that I got for this, hell yeah. Thanks for coming, but thanks for stopping by and checking me out. I'll be doing this every week on Mondays. Yeah, I'll be trying to get a little bit better at it each and every time. Doing a recap of JCW, Lunacy for the fans. I just love talking JCW, Lunacy. It's like the only wrestling that I watch right now. So, um, it's super cool to be able to share my opinions online with everything that's going on. And definitely check out my TikToks if you're interested in what I do over there. With that, guys, I think I've ran out of stuff to talk about. I know there's always something that I remember later, like, oh shit, I should have talked about that, or something. But yeah, all right. I appreciate each and every one of you. Whoop whoop. Peace.